Live from ABC7, this is Eyewitness News at 7 p.m. on LA56.
A horrific scene in Hesperia. A police canine dog turns on a 4-year-old child.
Disgusted by black sludgy water coming out of their faucets, Gardena residents seek assurances it won't happen again.
And big news for local aerospace workers. Virgin Galactic is coming to Long Beach. Good evening, I'm David Ono.
And I'm Ruta Shabazi in for Colleen Sullivan. Welcome to Eyewitness News on LA56, LA's only live local newscast at 7 p.m. We'll get to those stories in just a moment, but first, some breaking news in Jefferson Park. There is a power outage that has left several blocks without lights. Let's go to Bill Thomas in Air 7 HD now for the latest. Bill?
Ruta, it's a large power outage affecting an area on both sides of Western Avenue between Jefferson and Exposition. This is in Jefferson Park. DWP crews say it happened about 5:30. A power pole down. This is Western Avenue and 35th Place in the neighborhood. You can see the damage. Power lines are down, hopefully at this point de-energized. They tell us 1,159 customers are without power tonight. They are here in the neighborhood. They're trying to make repairs. They say it might take till tomorrow morning before power is restored. Reporting live from Air 7 HD, I'm Bill Thomas, ABC7 Eyewitness News.
Bill, thank you. A police dog mauled his handler's 4-year-old son. Neighbors had to rescue the child as he was being viciously attacked in his Hesperia backyard. Inland Empire Bureau Chief Rob McMillan reports from Loma Linda University Children's Hospital, where the child had to have his foot and ankle amputated.
His foot was up by his knee. Shouldn't have been where it was, and I knew something was wrong.
This retired U.S. Navy rescue swimmer still walks with a limp after fast action on Sunday afternoon. His wife and others say he helped save the 4-year-old boy's life.
He's a hero. He doesn't want to say it, but he is.
It happened in this Hesperia neighborhood. Jeff Hulamard heard the screams coming from the backyard. That's when he broke through this wooden fence to try to help.
It could have been a center block wall, and it would have came down. Just hearing the screaming that little boy was doing.
He, along with help from other neighbors, pried the dog's mouth off the 4-year-old boy. His wife stepped in to help as well.
And I just, counted with him and asked him what his name was.
Turns out the boy was bitten by his father's own police dog. We've blurred the officer's face at the request of the Rialto Police Department. They say it appears that while the officer was upstairs changing clothes, his son had unlocked the back sliding door and walked into the backyard, where the dog was playing.
I've been around animals my whole life. We have a pet. They have a mind of their own, too. It's unfortunate.
Rialto police are investigating the matter. They say the family is lucky neighbors were so close by because it could have been much worse.
He's expected to have a full recovery. They were very optimistic that he would be running around in 6 weeks to 6 months.
And the boy is expected to be treated here at the hospital for another week or so. So what happens to the dog? Well, the police department says it's unlikely he'll return to the police force. It's possible he'll be euthanized. In Loma Linda, Rob McMillan, ABC7 Eyewitness News.
22 Marines have been injured in a training exercise at the 29 Palms Combat Center. The Marines and sailors were riding in an assault amphibious vehicle when a fire extinguisher system inadvertently discharged. There was no fire or explosion, and this is a picture tweeted by Marines of the mishap. A base spokesperson says the Marines were being treated for exposure to the fire retardant at the base hospital, and they will be kept overnight for observation.
The LAPD speaks out about 2 recent officer-involved shootings. In both cases, it turns out the suspects were carrying fake guns. Police showed off the replica guns today, saying except for a small orange tip, it's extremely difficult for officers to tell the difference. In Hyde Park on Tuesday, they say they ordered a teenager who was pointing one to drop it, but opened fire when he refused. Another person was hit by the gunfire. Police also say they later discovered that a suspect who was shot in Montebello on Monday after a carjacking and chase was carrying a fake gun. The LAPD is pushing legislation requiring all replica guns to be painted entirely orange or green.
Water users are still demanding answers after black sludge came out of their faucets in Gardena recently. And Eyewitness News reporter Jory Rand is live with more from a public meeting that's underway. Jory.
David, that meeting has been going on for about an hour now, and there are some very unhappy residents inside. Golden State Water Company didn't help matters by opening this meeting with basically a half-hour report on the company and the folks in attendance who say their water has grown brown to black, sludgy, and smelly, continued to go restless throughout the hour. Here's a little bit of why they're so upset. Remember this? Residents of Gardena sure do, and last month their tap water came out looking like used motor oil.
It's coming out black.
At the time, the Golden State Water Company said they flushed the line and the drinking water was safe.
We have had some discolored water and some odor complaints in the surrounding area over the past few months, but we don't know what the cause is at this time.
But it's happened again. This time, Diane Morita says the black water came out of her shower. And look at the water filter from the neighbor's house across the street. What started out bright white is now jet black.
It's disgusting.
The Sebastians say the water is clear now, but that's not always the case.
It would be on and off, the smell, and it would be really bad. And the smell would linger. It's like the worst part about it.
Are you willing to drink that water?
No, I don't even drink the tap water anymore. I drink bottled water from now on. It's smelling like that's not normal, so I wouldn't want to drink it. I don't think.
And there is plenty of that dark, black, brown water on display here tonight. Residents brought jars of it, cans of it. There are several water filters turned jet black due to whatever is going through this water that folks brought here tonight. They're looking for answers. We'll see if they get them from Golden State Water Company. We're going to head back inside and see how this meeting finishes out. But for now, we are live in Gardena. Jory Rand, ABC7 Eyewitness News.
Okay, thank you, Jory. Big news for local aerospace workers. Virgin Galactic is coming to Long Beach. As Eyewitness News reporter Greg Lee reports, city officials are thrilled.
The newest home for Virgin Galactic is inside this 150,000 square foot building in Long Beach. The privately funded space company, founded by Sir Richard Branson, made the announcement today.
It's very exciting to have Virgin Galactic come to Long Beach. It really shows that they believe in the economic vitality that we have here in this community.
Virgin Galactic will use the space to build its satellite launch vehicle, Launcher One. In this video from the company, Launcher One takes satellites into orbit from the White Knight II carrier aircraft. Launcher One is set to create some competition in the satellite launching industry, currently dominated by Hawthorne-based SpaceX. It will also bring aerospace jobs back to Long Beach.
You know, Long Beach has a long history in aviation, so taking it into space is just the next level for us.
Virgin Galactic's new building is across the street from Boeing's C-17 production facility, which will close this summer. Hundreds of people will lose their jobs. The city hopes some will find a place with Virgin. The company expects to hire 100 people at first and more as the facility grows.
We are the downtown between San Francisco and San Diego, and we have great, smart minds and innovative people, and we'll partner with our big companies.
Greg Lee, ABC7 Eyewitness News.
Virgin Galactic will hold a job fair and open house on March 7th.
There was a groundbreaking today for a new $10 million development at Van Nuys Airport. Clay Lacy Aviation plans to build a new headquarters. Clay Lacy has a long history at Van Nuys Airport. In 1964, they landed the first Lear jet there, began a new era of business aviation. Clay Lacy Aviation currently operates a fleet of more than 75 aircraft and employs more than 300 people. Loading and unloading at the ports of Los Angeles and Long Beach has come to a grinding halt, and it will stay that way at least through Monday. It's the latest development in an ongoing labor dispute between port employers and the dock workers union. The partial shutdown is the port employers' response to what they say is a deliberate work slowdown by union workers. The move allows the ports to avoid paying holiday and weekend salaries. Union officials deny the accusations, in turn accusing employers of trying to sabotage contract negotiations.
Well, it still sure does not feel like we're in the middle of winter as our summer-like hot weather continues. The temperatures were rising today in downtown LA as many workers got out of their office to enjoy the sunshine. By quitting time, it was still in the mid-80s. Some people even used umbrellas for shade. Tourists from cooler parts of the state were thrilled with the February heat. And Jonathan Novak is here now to tell us how long it's expected to last.
A little while. Yeah. Temperatures today, we actually hit a record, I'll show you in a second, in a couple portions of the area. Weather today, sunny, as Long Beach shows. That sunset over mostly clear skies earlier. Here you go, Santa Ana. Record of 90, you actually tied it. Your record was 90, and you hit that today. Pasadena, 85. You got to 90. John Wayne, 78. Avalon, and Ventura at 87. Temperatures way above average by about 20 degrees or so. 72 still in Riverside. Now, the IE had some gusts today. Winds are about 12 miles an hour right now in Riverside. There is still just a wind advisory through 10 a.m., okay? So that's when the winds are expected to completely really subside, at least out of the wind advisory category. So if you're still seeing some isolated kind of breezes tonight into the morning time tomorrow, expect them to be out of the picture by Friday late morning. And temperatures are still going to be rising. We've got 70s tonight, 78 still in Santa Clarita. Details on when it might cool down in the 7-day forecast.
All right, thanks, Jonathan. And remember, you can keep track of the warm and windy conditions in your neighborhood any time of day with our new and improved Mega Doppler weather app. Download it for free from the iTunes App Store or Google Play to search Mega Doppler.
Members of the House Foreign Affairs Committee met today to discuss President Obama's request for authorization of military force in the war against ISIS. Congress is gearing up for a potentially contentious debate. Republicans think the president's resolution is limited. Many Democrats worry that it's too open-ended and could lead to a major escalation in the fight against the terror group. The president's new war powers authorization would be set at 3 years and limit the use of ground troops.
A peace deal is reached in Ukraine. It was worked out between Ukraine, Russia, France, and Germany after 16 hours of negotiations. Under the agreement, Ukraine retains the separatist eastern regions of the country and regains control of the border with Russia. Officials say a ceasefire will go into effect Sunday, but it's still not clear if it will hold. Today, there was heavy fighting in the region between Ukrainian forces and Russia-backed rebels. The ceasefire didn't seem to extend to the halls of Ukraine's parliament. Today, two lawmakers got into a fist fight over a bill on land ownership, with reporters and photographers watching. The fighting lasted some 30 seconds before guards sent the men to separate corners bearing bloody lips. Then they continued discussing their disagreement in a more diplomatic way.
Wow. Prosecutors played a dramatic police dash cam video today in the so-called American Sniper murder trial. It shows defendant Eddie Routh in a pickup truck being chased by police. The truck, belonging to American Sniper author Chris Kyle, was stolen after he and a friend were killed at a Texas shooting range last year. Police finally rammed the pickup before Routh surrendered. The video apparently shows Routh telling officers he had, quote, taken a couple of souls and had more to take. Kyle's memoir inspired the Oscar-nominated film American Sniper.
Coming up on Eyewitness News, actor Emile Hirsch is facing charges of aggravated assault. We'll have the details.
And two more women come forward accusing Bill Cosby of sexual assault.
Plus, one same-sex couple weds in Alabama after receiving a marriage license from a county that previously refused to grant them one. Two former models are now alleging they were victims of sexual misconduct by Bill Cosby. Today they held a news conference to talk about their claims. Eyewitness News reporter Miriam Hernandez was there.
Bill Cosby made me a victim.
So I took a sip and blacked out. But when I awakened, I was naked in the bed beside him.
These former models now join more than 30 other women alleging Bill Cosby spiked their drinks, then sexually assaulted them. Lisa Lott Loveland was a young actress. Linda Brown, in 1969, broke a barrier in television, a real-life woman modeling the Wonder Bra. Then came what she calls the horrible interlude with Cosby.
As a result, I find it very hard to trust men.
They come forward as Cosby was set to perform in Bakersfield tonight. It's off for now, he says, blaming a scheduling conflict. In his open letter to fans, quote, "Don't forget I said postpone. Hey, 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 I'm far from finished."
Bill Cosby appears to think that rape is a joke. Well, let me tell you something, Bill. I'm not laughing.
What she is doing? Pushing an online petition drive in Nevada to extend the statute of limitations for sexual assault. For almost all of Cosby's accusers, it is too late to pursue a criminal or civil complaint. Their attorney, Gloria Allred, wants Cosby to face the alleged victims in a different setting or have a retired judge hear their complaints. But for all the alleged victims, Cosby's lawyers have rejected those offers, says Allred. The next move now, the court of public opinion. She is urging more protests, turning up the pressure on Cosby's Far From Finished tour, saying she and the alleged victims are not finished either. Miriam Hernandez, ABC7, Eyewitness News.
Actor Emil Hirsch is facing a charge of aggravated assault. Authorities say he put a woman in a chokehold during an altercation at a Utah nightclub that occurred during the Sundance Film Festival. The 29-year-old actor began his career as a child star and went on to make films including Into the Wild, Speed Racer, and Milk.
Amanda Knox is engaged to be married. Her father has confirmed it to ABC News. Knox will marry Colin Sutherland, a musician she's known since middle school. In 2007, Knox and her ex-boyfriend were convicted in Italy of killing her roommate. In 2011, the convictions were overturned, but Italy's highest court is now considering a new appeal and whether Knox should be forced to return for yet another trial. No wedding date has been set.
All right, let's talk about our weather because it is just too hot out there. It is too dry. We need some relief.
Just something you're not doing.
You're not freezing.
Yeah, you're not doing this. We want to do this. Want to like that. I'm going to show you some pictures later. How my mom is dealing with the snow back home.
Great.
Let's just say barbecue. There's no real snow limit for doing barbecue back in Boston, apparently.
Okay, that'll be a good picture.
Yeah, in the meantime, we have record temperatures. I showed you Santa Ana earlier. It hit 91 today. LAX, clear skies as the sun went down. This is pretty cool. I always like seeing this shot here with the planes landing. I love that. That's really nice. Okay. Almanac today shows that this is the downtown high, was 85. Normally we're at 68. Wow. I mean, it's like summer-like right now. Not even close to where we should be. Bit of a breeze, but look at where it's coming from, the west. Bit of an onshore flow there at the airport, 69 currently, and a little bit breezy offshore, Riverside, 72 tonight. So that basically, I just want to indicate there with that westerly wind, we're starting to see a weakening of this ridge that we've had over us just a little bit now, but as we go into the next couple of days, these numbers will start to drop a little bit. For tonight, still very warm, 78 Santa Clarita, 65 Oxnard, 70 in Long Beach, and good evening, Palm Springs, 74 for you. If you want to cool off, you head over to Big Bear. It's about 34 or so. High pressure is in control. You know that means that air sinks and it warms, and around it we get those winds going clockwise, and you get those winds going northeast around that high, and that's why we've been seeing those Santa Ana winds. But watch what happens here over the next couple of days. First of all, the high wind warning has now been downgraded to wind advisory. Only goes through tomorrow, or to 10 p.m. tonight, I should say, for the San Bernardino Riverside County area. And that basically is dwindling away, those winds, only about 25, 30, 35, maybe at the most for gusts over the next few hours. So the future scan, here you go, shows you that area of high pressure flattening out. This is Friday, 3:30 p.m. And watch what happens as you go into Saturday, flattens out even more. That is that ridge weakening. And as it weakens, the winds will weaken, and the offshore flow will weaken, and the temperatures will drop. Not a lot, but we will start seeing a bit of a cool down heading into Saturday, Sunday a little bit, and then next week for sure. 86 tomorrow in Los Angeles. Look for about 89 in Ontario, 88 San Bernardino. Another hot one, but slightly cooler. And then Saturday, slightly cooler again in your 7-day, and then still warm, but slightly cooler on Sunday. Finally back closer to average on Monday. Not really there. We're not going to actually get below 70, it looks like, in the forecast, but at least it's close. Valleys, IE, a bit of a breeze tonight into tomorrow morning. 87 for a high tomorrow. Just warm. The weekend looks really nice. I mean, just pleasant stuff like it's spring. Wow. 78 for the beach, too, on Saturday, and you'll cool down a bit next week into the upper 60s. Mountains, mild is the word for you. Lots of sun. Just beautiful. High desert, a little breezy throughout your forecast. In fact, with temperatures hanging out in those mid-70s for a few days. We'll have more weather coming up in a few minutes. Back to you guys.
Okay, thanks, Jonathan.
You're welcome.
Thousands of people gathered in North Carolina to remember 3 Muslim students shot and killed earlier this week.
Allahu Akbar.
The crowd was so large that the prayer and funeral service had to be moved from a mosque to a nearby athletic field in Raleigh. The bodies of the newlywed couple and the wife's sister were found at the couple's apartment near the University of North Carolina, Chapel Hill. 46-year-old Craig Stephen Hicks is charged with 3 counts of first-degree murder. His wife says the motive was a long-standing dispute over parking and not the victim's Muslim religion. Police are still investigating the possibility of a hate crime.
Well, we are hearing from the Texas mother who took down an alleged carjacker at the end of a police pursuit. Police say 40-year-old Trey Alexander robbed a store and then carjacked a white Dodge Challenger before leading police on a high-speed chase yesterday. And finally, he collided with a couple of vehicles. That's when Jessica Leesman and her boyfriend got out of their damaged minivan, confronted Alexander, and then wrestled him to the ground.
Used to stop whoever, whether it was him or somebody else. It's no thinking, it's just a reaction.
Leesman says with a 13-year-old son in the car, her maternal instincts just kicked in. At one point, she even grabbed the straps on Alexander's overalls so he couldn't get away. He is behind bars, facing aggravated robbery and hit-and-run charges, probably glad he is nowhere near Leesman.
A federal judge in Alabama has ordered Mobile County to start issuing gay marriage licenses. The judge overturned the state's ban on gay marriage last month, and the U.S. Supreme Court refused to stop same-sex marriages beginning earlier this week. Alabama Chief Justice Roy Moore issued an 11th-hour order telling probate judges in the state they didn't have to hand out licenses. That caused confusion. Today, one couple wed in Mobile County just hours after the order. Alabama is the 37th state to allow same-sex marriage.
Some restaurant goers in Northern California are getting quite a treat.
Yeah, they're getting anonymous gifts of wine. Up next, how the gift giver is sending out clues. Plus this.
She wanted to go see her mom.
This is an adorable story. A precocious pooch takes matters into her own paws when she misses her mom. A mystery woman in Northern California is spreading joy to strangers one bottle of wine at a time. The woman who calls herself Secret Somm on Twitter is real. Somm is short for sommelier, and every weekend she tweets clues about where she's going, and then she surprises unsuspecting diners, gifting them bottles of wine, all while remaining completely anonymous.
They came up and said that the Secret Somm had a bottle of wine for us. So
What did you think?
I was shocked. I was really surprised.
Secret Somm says she's a retired tech executive with a passion for Northern California wines, and so far she has spent thousands of dollars on complete strangers. She says she plans to take a break after Valentine's Day.
That's a good Valentine's present. Well, grab a tissue. You may need one after hearing this story out of Iowa. It's about the unbreakable bond between a dog and her owner. This is Sissy walking through the automatic doors of Mercy Medical Center in Cedar Rapids. Her family thought she had run away from home, but the miniature schnauzer had a bigger mission: to find her owner, Nancy Frank, who was getting treatment at the hospital. She traveled a long way, and her owners aren't even quite sure how the dog found Nancy.
We started looking at the tags and it had the address, and we saw how far away this dog had lived, as far as going at least 15 blocks to get here. So it was quite an amazing journey that this dog made.
I don't know how she found the right door or did any of that herself.
Nancy had been in the hospital for a couple of weeks, and they think Sissy missed her. She had never taken the dog to this hospital, but she does work next door, and Sissy had been in the car before when the family dropped Nancy off at work. It was pretty remarkable.
Yeah, a great sense of smell, but just adorable. And seeing that dog walk through the hallways like that all by itself.
I know, just on a mission.
We're updating the evening's top stories next at 7:30, including the latest on nearly 24 Marines injured at 29 Palms.
And a local high school principal is under investigation after reports of inappropriate student searches.
Plus, Roseanne Barr takes aim at UC Davis on Twitter. What set the comedian off and how those on campus are reacting.
live from ABC7. This is Eyewitness News at 7:30 p.m. on LA56.
Our top story at 7:30, 22 Marines have been injured in a training exercise at the 29 Palms Combat Center. I'm Rudabeh Shabazi in for Colleen Sullivan.
Now, David Ona, this is Eyewitness News on LA56, LA's only live local newscast at 7 p.m. And this is a picture tweeted by Marines of the mishap. The Marines and sailors were riding in an assault amphibious vehicle when a fire extinguisher system inadvertently discharged. There was no fire explosion. A base spokesperson says the Marines were being treated for exposure to this fire retardant at the base hospital. They will be kept overnight for observation.
A 4-year-old remains hospitalized after being attacked by his father's police dog. Neighbors had to rescue the child as he was being viciously attacked in his Hesperia backyard. On Sunday, the toddler opened the sliding glass door and went out into the backyard while his father was upstairs changing. For some unknown reason, Django the dog bit the boy's leg as he had been trained to do in some criminal situations. A neighbor heard the boy screaming and knocked down a fence to rescue him. The boy's leg had to be amputated. Police say the canine will probably have to be euthanized.
A principal at Dominguez High School in Compton is under investigation by the Sheriff's Department. As Eyewitness News reporter Leo Starworth tells us, he's accused of inappropriate searches that made some students feel uncomfortable.
Special victim detectives say so far 5 Dominguez High students say they were forced to undergo a hand search by the principal of operations on campus, and it went further than a typical search.
The searches were conducted in a manner that made the students feel very uncomfortable. The searches were witnessed by some school employees, and they themselves were offended by the manner in which the searches were conducted.
The Compton Unified School District issued this statement on February 10th. The district administration determined the need to place the principal of operations at Dominguez High School on administrative leave pending further notice. Detectives say there could be other potential victims. They say they have yet to interview nearly a dozen more students. Investigators say there is no law against searching a student suspected of carrying a weapon on campus. That is, unless it goes too far. We talked to parents.
Teachers and the school should be more aware of those things and protecting students.
Investigators say the alleged incidents happened last year when the suspect started working at the high school as the principal of operations, overseeing primarily security on the campus.
Every kid that was searched was brought to his attention because they had broken a rule of the school. Either they were caught ditching, smoking marijuana, and they were detained.
I have a granddaughter, you know, and if I had a grandson and that happened to him, if it happened, I would like to see justice done.
Detectives say the crime they are investigating is annoying or molesting a child under 18, a misdemeanor. Bear in mind, the suspect has not been charged or arrested for any crime. In Compton, Leo Stallworth, ABC7 Eyewitness News.
New details tonight on the alleged gunman accused of shooting San Diego TV sportscaster Kyle Kraska on Wednesday. 54-year-old Mike Montana was a painter hired by Kraska to paint his house. Kraska was reportedly unhappy with his work and paid him to leave. A friend of Kraska's told KFMB that Montana then began leaving notes on his door. A man who was Montana's roommate in 1999 told ABC station KGTV that he developed a very bad temper.
He was a great person, you know, at first, and then he just turned into a monster in about a month after, you know, he moved in.
Kraska was shot 10 times, but is recovering from his surgery, and his outlook is good.
A controversial tweet by comedian Roseanne Barr is sparking outrage at her UC campus. She said, quote, "I hope all the Jews leave UC Davis and then it gets nuked." Barr's comment came after the Student Senate voted to ask the University of California to divest itself of businesses that have ties to Israel. 2 days later, swastikas were painted on a Jewish fraternity. Some students say Barr's comments went too far.
I don't know, it seemed a little wrong to me. I don't know, it didn't really seem like something you should joke about to me. I think that you shouldn't joke about killing people. That's not something to joke about. People's lives are serious.
Campus administrators say Barr's comment is irrelevant to who they are as a community.
A new development in that deadly chain reaction crash involving Bruce Jenner. The woman who was driving the Prius says she's not at fault. In a written statement, Hollywood talent manager Jessica Steindorf offers her account of what happened. She says she was stuck in stop-and-go beach traffic when she was rear-ended. Her attorney says Bruce Jenner rear-ended a white Lexus, sending it into oncoming traffic before rear-ending her Prius at a high rate of speed. Steindorf says she's not blaming Jenner for the horrific crash and that the investigation will reveal what happened. Investigators say Steindorf was driving on a suspended license.
For the first time, the former co-chair of Sony Pictures has acknowledged that she was fired. Amy Pascal was interviewed last night during the Women of the World Conference in San Francisco. And last week, the studio announced Pascal was stepping down to pursue a new production venture at Sony. Her departure came 3 months after a massive hacking scandal which many blame on North Korea. The cyber attack revealed a series of embarrassing emails.
The LA City Council is recognizing production companies that have stayed in Southern California to shoot their films. At the same time, California is allocating more money to keep movie and TV productions in the state.
Hollywood was built on films and television.
I know, right?
But increasingly, productions have been moving away from Los Angeles because other states are offering better tax incentives.
We always fight to stay in California. Sometimes the financiers want us to chase the money and get the tax rebates.
But today, LA City Council members honored 4 production teams of Oscar-nominated films who stayed in LA to make their movies. Big Hero 6, How to Train Your Dragon 2, the indie film Whiplash, and American Sniper. Producer Andrew Lazar says almost all of the shooting for American Sniper was done in Southern California and as a result pumped at least $30 million into the local economy.
Particularly with Chris Kyle, he was trained in Southern California. He did buds here. He met his wife, Taya Kyle, in Southern California. So for us to be able to honor that relationship in the movie by shooting in our home state, it was terrific.
Councilman Mitch O'Farrell and Tom LaBonge today celebrated a new assembly bill that allocates $350 million a year in tax incentives for the next 5 years to keep movie and television productions local.
40 states offer incentives, so we're now in the game of helping to protect and enhance our signature industry, and hundreds of thousands of jobs are at stake.
O'Farrell says the city is also working to put together a database of all city-owned properties so they can be used for film and television productions, and working with county supervisors to lessen the cost when shooting at locations in county jurisdiction.
And the draft of that proposal goes into the governor's office next.
Well, a lot of dreams were dashed in California with last night's Powerball drawing.
But we are learning more about the winning tickets. The jackpot was $564 million.
And we'll show you how Australia's oldest man is passing his time and helping some fine feathered friends in the process.
I wanted to give you that 50% cut, David. I know. Yeah. All right, folks, we've got heat still in the forecast. I'll tell you when it finally cools down coming up in that 7 days. Stick around.
There were 3 big winners in last night's Powerball jackpot worth more than $500 million. For the first time ever, one of the lucky tickets was sold outside of the continental U.S. in Puerto Rico. As ABC's Marcy Gonzalez reports, people are trying to figure out how to spend their newfound fortunes.
For some, it's just a piece of paper, but for others today,
that's the one right there.
It's a life changer.
He goes, yeah, I won $1 million. I'm like, no.
Bob Wallach is one of the 33 people to win $1 million in last night's Powerball drawing.
25, 11, 54, 13, 39. Now Powerball number 19.
And he was oh so close to hitting the big jackpot.
18 and the winner was 19.
$564 million now being split between 3 winners who bought their tickets in Puerto Rico, North Carolina, and at this convenience store in Texas.
This is the machine. Maybe.
That's a lucky machine, huh?
Yeah, that's maybe the lucky machine. It's only
a lucky machine or just some really lucky people. There was only a 1 in 175 million chance of matching all 6 numbers. But the odds didn't keep people across the country from dreaming big.
Give me the lucky one.
That lucky feeling lingering today for the winners and for the store owners getting their own big prizes.
Get $1 million.
Just for selling one of those 3 winning slips of paper.
I'm so exciting, you know. So I just called my wife, you know. Hey, it's exciting.
Definitely exciting. And if the 3 jackpot winners choose the lump sum option before taxes, they will each bring home $127 million. Marcy Gonzalez, ABC News, New York.
Not bad. It's nice to share, isn't it? The oldest man in Australia is helping to save the lives of countless penguins, and you won't believe how he's doing it. Alfred Date is 109 years old, and he likes to knit. He has been knitting woolly sweaters for hundreds of penguins affected by a massive oil spill. The sweaters prevent them from preening and swallowing the toxic oil. Date says he's been knitting for 80 years. His sister-in-law taught him how, but he says this is the first time he's ever made something for a bird.
She says you cast the stitches on, and then you do 1 plain, 1 purl, 1 plain, 1 purl to the end of the row. And then you turn around and go back the other way.
Keeps you young, apparently. The Penguin Foundation put out a call for knitted jumpers last year, and Date answered their plea. He also knit scarves for friends and little beanies for premature babies. But so cute, little guys wearing his little sweaters.
I don't know who's cuter, the birds or the knitter.
Yeah, cute story.
So sweet. Ahead on Eyewitness News, don't have time to shop? 2 local women may have a way to solve that problem and save you money in the process. All you need is time to text 1 word.
And one paddleboarder gets up close and personal with a pair of dolphins, and we'll show you more of this incredible video.
Plus, coming up in sports, the world-famous Harlem Globetrotters take over the Venice Beach skate park.
These competitors in New Hampshire are members of an exclusive club. The Granite State is the only place in the nation that still offers ski jumping as a competitive sport for high schoolers. And this winter, 50 students from 7 schools are participating. For many of them, the goal is to reach the Olympics.
Going down the jump really isn't that hard. It's just a game of nerves and how you can overcome your fears just to go down the jump.
Currently, 2 members of the men and women's national ski jumping teams are from New Hampshire.
A paddleboarder gets up close and personal with a pair of dolphins. Check out this video shot by Rich Gurman in the waters off Laguna Beach. He says he paddled out yesterday and was immediately greeted by bottlenose dolphins. He says they appeared to enjoy the company and cruised along with him, seemingly without a care in the world.
That's awesome.
That is an
really
awesome
cool
experience.
Seriously.
Skiing. You know, it's funny how skiing, when you're on skis, the cold and the snow is fine going downhill. If you go downhill without the skis, it's a completely different story. Not as comfortable.
We'll keep that in mind.
It looks kind of dangerous
thoughts.
to me.
Deep thoughts. I have got some pictures for you. You know, skiing generally in New England growing up, we had a lot of ice. And speaking of ice.
Oh, my God.
Yeah.
Is that?
That is what you think it is. Take a good look. That is, my mom sent this in. That's by her office in the Boston area. And that is an icicle of all icicles. That is the mother of them all right there. And I don't actually know if the building is on the icicle or the other way around. But this is how we do it in Boston. So I stepped out of my mom cooking barbecue out in, it looks like, a few feet of snow. Just, we've got a few screws loose, I think, over there. Santa Ana, record of 91 today. In the meantime, John Wayne, 90, 85 Pasadena. It was really just ridiculously hot here. 70 in Long Beach, light winds. And still breezy around Riverside, where there's still a wind advisory through 10 p.m. tonight. We could see a few breezes like that, about 25, maybe 30 for gusts down toward the OC. So temperatures at the moment, 42 Wrightwood, 78 Santa Clarita, and 65 Oxnard. A fantastically warm evening, 76 Fullerton, and 73 still in Santa Ana. On the satellite picture, let's just show you what's going on in the East Coast. See this dip right here? That's all this cold air pushing in. It is in Massachusetts. Well, we're looking about 25, up in Maine about 5 degrees. You head toward the Midwest in the -2 range, and the Dakotas around 9. It's just a frigid forecast for them still as we continue to have this high pressure in control. This high will stick around for about another day as it continues to weaken, and then it'll weaken even more going into the weekend. And those offshore winds we've seen the last couple of days, the breezy conditions, will start subsiding as well as this high weakens going in through the next couple of days. In the meantime, again, I did tell you about the wind advisory that goes through 10 p.m. tonight, so still a couple of breezes from Riverside on down toward the coast there. So the future scan shows exactly what I was talking about. See that big arc in that western portion of the United States? This is that ridge of high pressure. This is Friday, 3:30 p.m. You see it flattened out a little bit. It's weakening right there. Go through Saturday. This is 6 a.m. It's completely flat, and we're starting to see a bit more of an onshore flow as we get into Sunday and Monday. That means temperatures start dropping. Until then, more of the same pretty much. Tomorrow's another really, really warm day, about 86 to 88 in the LA area, 89 Ontario, 90 in Anaheim, mid-80s at the coast in Long Beach, who we had a record yesterday, by the way, 79 in Huntington Beach, and then the 7-day forecast for LA Metro and Orange County. 3 more days in the 80s. We'll drop it down into the 70s on Monday on. No rain, a lot of sun, maybe some morning clouds next week with that onshore flow coming back, and that's the best I can do for you. Valleys, i.e., no heat relief for tomorrow, upper 80s near 90, and the same for Saturday and Sunday, really, really warm in the 80s, and then into the 70s on from Monday on. And the beaches will be in the 60s next week. You got a few more days left, though, of really warm weather. The mountains are mild, nice and sunny, and a bit breezy there in the high desert with temperatures right there in the 70s from Friday on through Thursday. That's your forecast. Have a good night.
Thank you, Jonathan. Welcome. Love the pictures, by the way.
Good.
The weather lately has felt like summer, and boys of summer will be back to work soon. And once again, the Dodgers and the Angels are among the favorites to win it all. The Dodgers have the second best odds behind the Nationals at 13-2, while the Angels have the best odds of American League teams at 10-1. And today, the Angels packed up their trucks and headed them to their spring training site in Tempe, Arizona. And a week from today, both the Dodgers and Angels pitchers and catchers have their first day of workouts. And then on March 26th, it's the first full squad practice for both teams. The Angels open the season on the road in Seattle on April 6th. The Dodgers host the Padres. The NBA's annual All-Star Game will be at Madison Square Garden Sunday, but Clippers center DeAndre Jordan will be watching the game from his home in Houston. Jordan has made a convincing case he belongs in the Big Apple this weekend. Last night he scored 24 points, had 20 rebounds as the Clippers go into the All-Star break with a 110-95 win over the Rockets. It was the second straight game and the third time in the past 8 days he's had at least 20 points and 20 rebounds. But when it came time to replace injured Anthony Davis on the West roster, Commissioner Adam Silver chose Dirk Nowitzki of the Mavericks instead.
I just think that DJ should be on the All-Star team. I think it's a travesty. I really do. A guy that's getting 27 and 22 and 20s and 20s and is not on the team. They put the best offensive player on every year. They should think about putting the best defensive player on every year.
Next year, I just got to probably average 20 points a game, and maybe it'll be something that they look at.
I think it would help you if they actually play defense in the All-Star game?
Oh, if I play in the All-Star game, I'm playing defense hard from the first quarter, and I want to get a couple dunks, too.
Yeah, he needs to be in that game. The Lakers and Clippers are off till next week. But if you still need a hoops fix, the world-famous Harlem Globetrotters, they're making their way through the Southland, and they'll be at the Honda Center on Saturday and Staples Center on Monday. Today, the Globetrotters, they along with the Washington Generals, put on a show inside Venice Beach Skate Park's Bowl for Kids from Westminster Avenue Elementary.
Well, most of us do some form of online shopping these days, but have you ever bought anything via text? It's a savvy new way to shop, created by two busy stay-at-home moms. Eyewitness News reporter Leanne Suter shows us how it works.
Texting is an easy way to communicate. And it's now an easy way to shop.
We call it the lazy way to shop.
Dean and Grace is the brainchild of moms Sarah Peak and Whitney Nordmore, a patent-pending text message shopping platform bringing sales to your cell phone.
We thought about online shopping, and, what we struggled with there is that you still have to, go to the site. You still have to have web access. You still have to sort through merchandise, sort through sizing.
Their service, which is free and so is the shipping, tailors the text to your interests. You can choose everything from clothes for you and your family to jewelry and home goods.
Really tailor in on what it is each shopper personally wants to see.
So just how easy is the lazy way of shopping? It's as simple as typing what you want.
We text out items for sale based on the category that you've chosen, and then when we do that, if you like what you see, you just reply back with one word, which is one.
You get a return text to authorize payment, and you're done.
Oh, I thought it was a great idea to expand our horizons.
For stores like Bedhead Pajamas in LA, the service is an easy and unique way to bring in more business with the push of a button.
Sometimes you get an email for an offer, but you might not necessarily look at it, but you definitely look at a text. People are always texting these days.
You can sign up for Dean and Grace online or via text, of course, making shopping as simple as pressing send. In Los Angeles, Leanne Suter, ABC7 Eyewitness News.
More news straight ahead here at 7:30 and ahead tonight on Eyewitness News at 11 on ABC7. President Obama uses a selfie stick to inspire young people to sign up for health care, but is this viral video having the impact he wanted? The erotic romance 50 Shades of Grey is set to dominate this weekend's box office, but some local dominatrixes are protesting the movie. We'll hear why. These stories and all the late-breaking news on Southern California's #1 late newscast, Eyewitness News at 11 on ABC7.
Are you looking for something extra special for your Valentine? Here's something, but beware, it'll cost you $260 to be exact for this bar of chocolate. And that's if you can get your hands on it. It's available only online and in some fine wine stores. The co-founder of Toak Chocolate says the bar is worth the price tag. It's made from a rare and unique cacao found in Ecuador. Each batch takes 4 to 5 months to make.
Looks very regal. A special treat today for elementary school students. A music prodigy nearly their age performs just for them. He's a 12-year-old. His name is Daniel Dano Peterson III. He's so talented, Yamaha endorsed him at age 4, and he became the youngest full-time university student in Cape Town, South Africa at age 11. Dano says his mission is to encourage other children through music.
Well, thank you for joining us for Eyewitness News at 7:30 on LA56. Law and Order SVU is coming up next.
Eyewitness News continues at 11 p.m. Have a great night.
This is ABC7 weather.
Hey folks, meteorologist Jonathan Novak here. See this arc in the clouds? This is high pressure that